Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversation with Masters. Today I'm in conversation with Esther. Esther is a systemic trainer and coach, founder of Ziesso, and work both, if I understand right, systemic constellation and family constellation. So, Esther, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me.
By the way, today it's 8 March, the International Women's Day. So, happy Women's Day, Esther, and all the women around the globe.
Thank you very much.
Please introduce yourself. Like always, I ask everyone in the way you like and feels most authentic to you.
Yes. Well, hello, my name is Esther Snickers. I'm from Holland. I'm 51 years old and I'm traveling by camper van with my dog. At the moment, I'm in Spain. So most of the times in the winter, I'm in the south of Europe, and in the summer, I'm in North Europe. And I always said that family constellations set me free and enrich my life. And that's the way now I can say I do what I like and live the way I want. And I really enjoy it. And before the COVID, I developed an online tool to guide constellations online. And I'm trained for family constellations, organizational, and also health. And most of the time now I work with emotions, feelings, thoughts. That's the most part of it. And besides that, I have the platform Ziesso. That is a platform where you can find a facilitator and book a constellation. So
Yeah,
that's a
so
little bit about me.
it's a big platform to find people who can work with and try a specialist maybe. But by the way, it's many listeners maybe they have this dream, right, to travel the world with a camper. So that's it's wow, a big
Yeah,
big dream what I have to.
yeah. And actually, like I said, constellations free and enrich my life. And I remember that I wanted to do this, but there were all kinds of obstacles. So I did a few constellations on that, and actually, it freed myself. Yeah.
So what inspires you to found Ziesso?
When I did develop the CISO tool to guide constellation online, I thought I can work with it, so somebody else can work with it, right? And what I really like that we are connected with each other. Like, for instance, this conversation, because you can learn from each other. I think that's the two most reasons that I decided to make a platform and that we can work with each other.
Yes, we learn from each other. So yeah, it's a process for all of us, I guess.
Yes. And I always say you have to be authentic, and the diversity of different kinds of facilitators is the power, because you grow with each other. And everyone guide and constellation differently, and every constellation is different. So that's the beauty of it.
Yep. So Esther, do you remember how you come to systemic coaching and constellation world?
Yes. I was working at the time in prison. I was a manager, and we had the opportunity to do education. So I did education about communication. So I started with NLP. And in the institute where I did that, they also had family constellations. And at that moment, I was already seeing a coach who worked with puppets, but I didn't know the method systemic work. But when I was studying NLP, then I find out about the systemic work, and then I was fascinated about it. And so it went, so I went to do family constellation, organizational health. And then afterwards, I stopped working in the prison, and I started it same as you, as a business in the business world, but that I did for 2.5 years, and then I changed, and more I do more family constellation.
Yeah, because there too, what I notice sometimes the people who work with family constellation and I meet them, they are more open. They speak from heart. It's a right kind of energy. And the business constellation and this, organizational. Sometimes I notice some, tendency to be more rational, to be more brain, if you want.
Yeah, I understand the difference, but my experience is if you work with a organization constellation and people feel it, then they open up. But before, and certainly in that time when I did a more organizational constellation, it was not that open to do systemic work. But were you in the company and then you did some constellation work, then yeah, then they feel it, they see it, they feel it, and then they open up for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what role does empathy and awareness play in these processes?
Yeah, the awareness, I always explain it like we put the inner image of the situation, well, in the field. I work more online, so I said in the field online. And because of they see the elements, how they put how they are in the field and how they are connecting, then you see the awareness coming because we work with elements and you can the elements have a color. You can choose your own color, so that's a lot of information. The same as the size of an element. So you see that they are connected with the field if they put all the elements in the field. So then you see the awareness is it's already there. It's difficult to explain, but they feel it, and if they feel it, they understand it, and they feel it, and then it breaks open.
Yeah, they have maybe aha moments, like we say always.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So, how has your personal journey shaped your approach to systemic work?
Well, yeah, it did, and it is not only a family constellation, but it's also systemic awareness, right? If you look at yourself like in like the systemic principles, and so now actually I have developed a new training and it's called systemic awareness. And that's in that training I show people how you can do it, how you can look at yourself. There's a situation in your life and the energy is not flowing. So what do you do? And what I do is that I look at myself and I will be really honest with myself. And then I look like the place I am, what role do I play? What is the connection? Is the loyalty, but also is give and take in balance? All those kind of questions, I look at myself. And what's important is the message behind the situation. So it's a little bit projection, but it's also systemic work, what I do.
You put a mirror, if you want, in this form of training, and they can explore in some way by themselves the system, their
Yeah.
own system.
And it's important that you know your own system, right? That you know where you're coming from and what kind of dynamics and patterns are in your system.
Yeah, that's true. And every day it's a new lesson, if you want to say that.
Yes, of course. But what I notice and what my experience is that it is becoming more easier. It's yeah, I like it. I like the life. I like all the difficulties too, because they bring me something. And in the end, it's getting more easier.
So now we shift a little bit to organizational work. So I have this curiosity to ask you, how do systemic insights help teams to improve maybe collaboration and trust?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. Yeah, because well, I think if you do a constellation, then they understand what is beneath the underneath the situation that they're familiar with. And if they understand it and you explain the systemic principles, then they understand it, but they don't understand it only by head, but they feel it also. And if they feel it and they understand it in their head, then the penny drops. So, and then you see the movement.
So, if we reflect and we go a little bit in this area of reflection, right? How do you think people integrate insights from constellation into day-to-day life?
Yeah, what I think, because for me, constellation starts with your inner image of the situation. And because in the constellation you have insights, but you also there are shifts. So you have recognition, you have enlightenment, and then after the constellation, or in the end of the constellation, you have a new inner image. And because you have a new inner image of the situation, then you feel differently. So you act differently and you also do things differently. So it's a natural process. And if I look at myself, then I said it's not, if people ask me, is it a quick fix? I say yes and no. Yes, because you feel differently after the constellation. But most of the time, a couple of weeks later or a couple of months later, and you look back and then you see it's changed. Like, for instance, I had difficulty to sell my house and to go in a camper van, and but later on, there was an option and I could sell my house, but everything went so fast because there was inside of me there was a change, right? There was no obstacle anymore, so things was happening almost, yeah.
By magic, by
Yeah, by
magic.
magic, yeah. So I don't want to say that constellation is magic, but if you understand your obstacles, and sometimes it needs more than one constellation, and of course it is a process, but yeah, it's help you.
Right. So, Esther, if the listeners they would like to come in contact with you, what is the best channel for you?
Well, the best channel is Ziesso.com, and there they can find a family constellator, but I also on the platform as well. So I think that's the best way. And what is nice to say is that the name Ziesso is a little bit difficult, but it's an old Dutch word, and it's like an aha moment. In the old days, if something was finished and you understand it or it was done, then you said Ziesso. So that's how I became.
Okay, it's
That's
a
the word
meaning.
meaning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a meaning behind the word, of course. Now, I would like to explore with you a little bit about vision, right? Which advice do you give to someone who explore systemic work?
As a facilitator or just as a participant?
As a human being in the
Yeah.
Earth planet.
Yeah. Well, I will say just experience it because you have to feel it. You have to, yeah, to experience it because then you understand it. For instance, I know one time that was in the beginning. I'm 51 and I don't have children, and I'm fine with it. But I was in a constellation, and there for another woman. Also, she hasn't children, but she had a problem with it. And I was a representative in the constellation, but that constellation worked for me very good. It was her constellation, but it also as a representative was good for me. That was for me one moment that I had grief about it, and then it was done. What I would suggest, experience it. Just go and see constellations, because if you're in the room and you see a constellation from somebody else, you have also the experience. So take it step by step and then follow your heart. Follow your
But
heart.
yeah, Esther, with all these trips, what you have around the globe, it's never late for the children too. So nobody knows. you know?
No. Yes.
How do you see the future of family and systemic constellation evolving?
Yeah. There's a lot going on. If you see by the traditional, well, yeah, the traditional family constellation and what you see happening nowadays, is a lot going on. So I'm looking for it because I like to work online. I really like it because, well, I said you don't have to choose between physic or online. I think you have to do both because then you can the petitioners should choose, not you as a facilitator, right? So I see the online, and I heard also in your podcast about virtual constellation and IE, systemic work with IE. So I'm really curious about the developments about that. So and what I see with the younger people, it's more easier and it is lighter somehow. It's getting more normal. So I really looking forward to see what
Yeah,
how it develops.
will be interesting in the coming years, I guess, too, because they speak many people. What I have conversation with them, they speak about VR, they speak about IE, integrating IE. They speak
Very
about,
curious.
yeah, all these tools, but in the final of the day, I think the most important things is the human touch. Okay,
Yeah.
it's something to speak with ChatGTP about your situation, about some trauma, maybe what you have. But this is just learning, machine learning. So you
Mhm.
speak actually with a software. They don't feel nothing, they don't have feelings or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So my advice is always to be close to one mentor or to someone who can support the path
Yeah.
of integration.
That's what I prefer, but I also worked with horses and also with
Wow,
dogs.
dogs.
And yeah, I have a dog, so I point at him now. But that's very interesting. And what I really like about that, it's about the energy in the field. And a horse is big, and you yeah, you can push him wherever you want. So you have really to follow the energy, and that's magnificent. It's beautiful to work with horses and animals.
Wow, this is interesting. The horses I know about it, but the dogs is something new. How you do with dogs? How it's working
I
exactly?
know somebody who works with dogs, so I can introduce you to her. Maybe it's interesting for your podcast.
Yeah, she's welcome if I understand right. So yeah,
Yes,
why?
she.
Why not?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I will tell you her name because she can explain it more better than I. But what I do with working with animals, there are different ways, but sometimes you use some obstacles you can place in the area. But I prefer to work just what it is, just the horse and the person, and then just see how what the field tells you. And it's not you don't it's difficult to explain, but and especially when I worked with young children like between 16 and 21, and it was so beautiful what happened and what the confidence in the children, how that grow. And what I really like with the, well, constellation with animals is really subtitles. It's really small, but in the end it happens a lot. So this really subtitle what happening.
Short,
Yeah, short
short
and
but intense.
yeah, but the impact is massive.
Yeah. Very interesting with the dogs. I never heard, so it's the first time. I'm very curious to speak with your friend about this. Absolutely.
Yeah. Educates people to guide constellations with dogs. So she's the perfect person to tell you more about that.
We start the conversation about the International Women Day today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what message would you like to leave for the woman, for
That's a
all the
beautiful
women's, maybe?
all the woman. Yeah. Well, keep your energy high and keep your woman energy, because what I believe that women and women are different, but together we make a life. That's how nature works. So be aware of your, yeah, who you are as a woman, and keep your energy up, and yeah, be a beautiful woman. That's,
Be
I
a
think,
beautiful woman
yeah, and
is
that's
the
the same
perfect
for
message.
men too, I think. And I think we have to accept that we are different, and together we bring life. And I think that's an important message. And it's nature, and we are nature.
That's true. So now would like to know some insights from you. Maybe I learned too something from you. So how do you ground yourself in this work? How you find your balance?
Mm. Well, if I ground, do you mean before I guide a constellation, or ground just in my life, what I do? What do
I
you
think
mean?
both. It's
Both.
important.
Yeah, and I actually, it's this. It's a little bit the same, right? What I do for a constellation, literally, I take my time. I go. I always say I go to my inter knowledge. So it's really into. So I imagine that the daily life a little bit behind me, so I get really by myself. And during my life, I do also that. It's in contact with yourself, I think, and then you keep your energy. You can balance your energy, and it's not that nothing happens in life, because life is with ups and downs, and it will always be. But if you understand yourself and you can see at your life systemic in a systemic way, then you can balance yourself better. And yeah, I hope that more people know about this, because for me it's, yeah, I can say this is my way, and this is how I do it, and it works for me. So
Fantastic.
it's a little bit the same. It's in contact with yourself, with your inner knowing. We all everybody has an inner knowing, everybody, but sometimes you have to be quiet to be there and to listen to it. And the more you do it, the more you get yeah, you trust yourself with it.
Yeah, self confidence maybe too.
Yeah.
You mentioned too the young generation, and I'm curious if how do you see this phenomenon? It's growing. You see more younger generation in your workshops, or how it's for you today?
Yeah, I see that they are interested, but it is for them. It is easier. Somehow it's easier. It's more normal, and I really like it. I really like it if young people, like say early 20 are coming, and what I see with colleagues and their children, say they say also around the 2025, and they it's more, yeah, like I said, more natural. They speak also more about energy and about the feelings and the obstacles and everything. So yeah, I'm really glad with that. I think we bring that on to them, and that in the daily life, it's maybe with all the things that are going on. We also say they're more on the telephone and also, but I think there is a side. There's an other side to it as well.
Esther, thank you very much. You take the time today to be with us here.
Thank you.
And I hope I see you soon with my caravan, maybe, or
Yeah,
my
who
yeah.
knows?
We can make together a
Yeah, we
beautiful
can meet
trip,
up.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, will be nice.
and actually, I like that. So if there are constellators who listen to this, I really like to meet up and get in touch with each other. Let's connect, and
The
I
issue
really
now,
enjoy.
I don't have one right now. I don't have my own, car for that. But maybe in the future
You
will
never know.
happen.
You never know. And if I'm in the area, then I will let you know.
Thanks again, Esther, for today.
Thank
My
you.
name is Marius, and thank you for listening.